Welcome back to the Unknown Origins podcast. It's me, as always, one of your hosts, DevBrev, and with me we have the other host, Ben. Ben, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. We had a good day. We had a very productive day. Yesterday. And now I'm ready to just jump into this and get her going.
Yeah, it's been Labor Day today, and I had a fun day. I had the day off.
Okay.
I went to a little fun swappers day.
Nice. I spent all day yesterday baking, and I had to bake baked goods at work for the people at work.
And my guy was baking like you wouldn't believe.
All day. It was great. Made a cheesecake, made some brownies. They turned out wonderful. Very good.
I didn't get to have any of the cheesecake.
Yeah.
The hounds at his work ate them.
Yeah, I also didn't really get to have any of the cheesecake, but it's okay.
But Ben, we can make cheesecakes whenever you want.
We can.
You have that ability.
I have that ability. And I have the recipe now too, which is the important part.
True.
But, yeah.
All right, we ready to just get into the episodes?
Yes, I am ready.
These 3 episodes are going to be strange. We've walked away from we're adapting the things from the games. You know, Ash is going to the gyms. Ash is doing this event from the games. We have reached full, filler territory.
I feel like at this point, they just kind of said, oh shit, if we keep doing this, we're going to run out of things to do,
eventually.
Very soon. Because, in, 15 episodes, they've got 3 badges.
Yeah.
They keep that going. They got some...
You'd roll through it in, maybe 30 or 40-ish.
Yeah.
They want to go to, 50 episodes. I think they probably had a specific order that they needed to do and fulfill. And so then they just went ahead and went at their pace and then started to slowly pace it out as they got further in.
Because, up until this point, we don't really have filler episodes. It's either been Ash catching a new Pokemon or another badge or
something relevant from the games.
Yeah.
Because the Mount Moon episode wasn't important, but it was still Mount Moon.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very prevalent part in the games. They spend a lot of time in there. They spend a lot of time talking about it in the game. It's cool.
And even with Big Dragonite from a couple episodes ago, or was Big Dragonite last episode?
2 ago. Yeah.
Okay, so Big Dragonite a couple weeks ago, even with Bill.
Yeah,
it was Bill is a guy.
Right. Bill is a very important guy. He's the one that built the PC system. He's the one that gives you the ticket to the SSN. The SSN.
The Sainan, as it's called here. Not the Sainan.
Yeah. Different ship. But it is really important to the story. So even if it was a filler episode, more exposition, it's still important because we get to meet important characters.
Yeah.
So
And with the boat, we got Sainan, as we mentioned, that was in the games and it is important. But after that thing sank.
Then it sank.
We've
and now
been
we're here. Yeah. We're off the tracks entirely in new spaces we've never seen before. And we'll get into it.
Yeah. So episode 17 is called Island of the Giant Pokémon. It was released July 22nd, 1997 in Japanese and September 30th, 1998 in English. And we're going to play our favorite game over here. As we all know, if you've been watching for the past couple of weeks, we have a fun game where when we watch the episodes, we do not see the Who Is That Pokemon segment. But they were there in the original broadcasting version. So Ben does not know what the Pokemon were. But we still wanted to include the segments because it is very iconic to Pokemon. So I'm going to be asking Ben, who was the Pokemon for episode 17? So Ben, who was that Pokemon?
See, there are a couple that come to mind that were important in the episode. I don't think these are my answers. I will get back to my answer in a second. I just wanted to talk about it for a second.
All of the Pokemon are prevalent in this episode.
All of them, yeah.
Much like last episode.
Exactly. Yeah, they kind of get separated on their own. So we get introduced to Coughing and Ekans a little more. They get a little more screen time. There's a giant Rhydon later on. Maybe that's it. I'm going to go with Slowpoke.
You're going with Slowpoke.
Is it Slowpoke?
It is actually, weirdly enough, Slowbro.
Slowbro. I guess it makes sense, but he's not there until the end.
Yeah, the very end of the episode.
That is weird.
Because, I guess, maybe technically the second, we're going to talk about it later, but maybe the second Slowpoke put his tail in the water, he became a Slowbro.
Maybe.
Maybe the shelter was fast, or...
They also had the little segment with the cart of cooking, and that was like slow
the
roast
yakai.
chef.
We'll
So
talk
maybe it
about
was
that
right
later.
after that they had the break.
Yeah,
it would make
because
a little more sense.
the commercial breaks are a little hard to tell for us.
Yeah.
Because like
Very.
it's just instant.
Yep.
Like there's like a slight cross dissolve and then we're back.
Yeah. Devon here has YouTube Premium, so we don't have to deal with ad breaks. And
Yeah,
where they put
there's
those
not a
in.
single ad that we see.
It's great.
It makes
It's
watching
wonderful.
Pokemon so much easier.
It does.
It makes my life so much easier.
I believe it.
There's been like discussions on like social media websites where people be like, "There's too many ads on YouTube," and people are like, "Guys, it's
Premium
like
exists.
it's like $10 a month.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. And honestly, guys, it will change your life if you want to. It's not that bad of an investment.
I'm cheap. I use regular YouTube, and it's fine unless we're doing stuff like this where it's like, okay, we have to sit and watch. This is like almost an hour and a half, which there would be a lot of ad breaks.
Yeah.
So it does make it easier. I will say that. But if you're just an everyday Joe, you know. And I do the music stuff, so I have to pay for Spotify Premium, so I can do my music stuffs with that. So it's a little like double dipping there.
Yeah, I live my life on YouTube.com. He lives his life on Spotify.com.
This is true. This is true.
That's the differences between the two of us.
It makes it hard to share playlists, but it's okay. Aside from that, we're good.
Okay, so as we saw in the last episode, Ash and the gang were blasted away by Gyarados and the Dragon Rage that it used.
Yeah.
And so Ash and the gang have ended up on a beach, and Ash only has 2 of his Pokemon. We find out later that it's Pidgeotto and Butterfree.
Correct.
And Rocket has also ended up on a different beach without their Pokemon, and they get pinched by a Krabby.
Yeah, and it wakes them up, but they're in this little, like, they're buried in the sand. I feel like the impact that they had to have
Yeah, like
to
they
be
have
buried
concussions.
like to their waist
have
in
concussions.
sand. Maybe that's
At
why
the
they
least.
act like they do, is just because they're used to getting blasted off, and they just constantly have concussions.
It's like Izzy
That's-
from Total Drama Island, where she like
Just
fell in the boat,
constantly-
knocked her head,
Right,
and became
right,
crazy,
right.
and then in World Tour she knocked her head again, and then
and
became
she's
sane.
just- yeah, exactly. No, that's my headcanon now. That's why Jesse and James act the way they do. They're just constantly concussed.
Constantly. Okay, so Team Rocket see a phone booth on a beach. And so this is where I went kind of crazy. Because in Digimon, yes, we're talking about Digimon in our
Again,
Pokemon
that's
podcast, there are, like, in like the second episode, the Digidestined show up on a beach where they fight Shellmon, and there's just a row of, like, phone booths on the beach. And I was like, beach, phone booths. Is that, like, a thing in, like, Japanese culture? And I looked into it, and it, like, really isn't. The only thing
Cool.
I could find was like something called the wind phone in Otsuchi in Iwate Prefecture.
I have no idea what that is.
I know, I didn't either.
Okay.
It's a unconnected like payphone in like the middle of nowhere, and it's meant to be like you can metaphorically like call like dead relatives and like other spirits.
Okay.
It's just like a landmark.
Yeah.
It's just like a thing. But that was created in 2010, so not relevant to what we're talking
not
about.
Relevant. Cool. I was you were saying that I'm like, oh, maybe that's like part of the inspiration for like Doctor Who, and they have no, not at all.
It was,
That's
no.
way, like-
It's not relevant to anything we're talking about.
Cool, wonderful.
I guess it's just more like 90s culture rather than like Japanese culture.
yeah.
Because like phone booths show like a connection to like other people and like safety.
Okay.
Because like us, if you wanted to like make us feel safe as like Zoomers, your phone is right here, dude.
Yeah.
You're not
Your
in
phone,
danger.
dude. You're
But if you
fine.
want to
You're good.
show that someone's in danger, you take that phone away.
Right. You take their connection to other people away. You isolate them. It makes sense.
So with this being in the 90s, having them be like, oh, there's a phone booth, they're not fully in danger because they can call at any point.
right.
And also it kind of keys into like they're not on like a deserted island because we'll find out later they're not on the island of giant Pokemon. They are in an amusement
That's
park.
actually Galar is the island of giant Pokemon. That's. I'm gonna keep making that joke.
I know you are. And guys, he's not gonna stop because there's more giant Pokemon
There
coming
are a
up
lot
later.
of giant Pokemon that
Like,
come up
I
later.
swear Big Dragonite only existed to be like, guys, if we start messing with sizes,
This is what we do.
it's okay because
And
Big Dragonite.
They do it like a lot in this little like span of episodes. 'Cause
Yeah.
There's the Dragonite, there's the Island of Giant Pokemon, and then in one of the later episodes, there's another one.
Big
that shows up.
Tentacruel.
Big
Later.
Tentacruel, which is just it's so interesting to me that they just had this idea of like, yeah, we'll make them big.
Yeah, but,
and then they
and-
use that 20 years later.
Yeah, but in this episode, there's a lot of like things that aren't like deserted.
Right.
There's like the rail cart that has like the loop-de-loop, and then there's that cart with the Slowbro later.
There's a food cart with the Slowbro. There's somehow, I think it's Bulbasaur and Squirtle get like a tea set that they're sitting, or no, it's Ekans and Coughing have like a tea set.
That was one of their gags.
Yeah, but like,
so like
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like back to Digimon to like to tie it all to like square that circle so that like
square that circle.
In Digimon, the reason why it's like the phone booths and stuff, it's to be a little like unsettling and like mysterious because they're in another world. So it's
that
like
makes sense.
It's deserted and forested and full with these other creatures, but then there's just like buildings and bridges and stuff.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, so besides the monsters, there's weird stuff going on here.
Okay. I like that. It's a good way to show that. That's neat.
So the phone booth is here for like a specific reason.
Yeah. Around the same time too, I did want to talk about Ekans was a gift for Jesse's birthday.
Yes.
And Coughing was a gift for James's like a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
It's nice that they like kind of show like, okay, this is why they have this.
We
Pokemon.
have lore now.
Yeah, we have lore, and in no way are they competent enough to catch their own Pokemon.
Yeah.
Which is so funny to me.
Yeah. So speaking of all the Pokemon, Ash's Pokemon are all together and they're talking about what to do. And we have been watching Pokemon in dub, but now we are forced to watch it in sub as all the Pokemon say their names repeatedly, and we have to physically read what they are saying.
And we were just talking a few episodes ago about like, oh, it's cool that Ash and Pikachu have this connection, so like we can see what Pikachu's saying through Ash, and
now we can literally see what Pikachu is saying by the editors.
Yep, by the editors. Not only Pikachu, but Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle as well.
And Coughing, and Ekans.
Coughing and Ekans, true. And Meowth, but Meowth talks. So Meowth didn't get subtitles, yeah. But I do think it's cool that they have all of the starter Pokemon here. As well as Pikachu. Like it's cool that they kind of get a interaction between each other instead of just, hey, we caught him, now he's eternally trapped in his Pokeball. Like they don't interact.
And they get like characterization too.
They do.
And it like fits really well with like what we see. Like Charmander's very loyal. He's very like scared. He also mentions Brock specifically.
Yes.
And it's
which is cool because he's the one, because
Brock was the one that was really worried about Charmander. And so Charmander can like see that.
It's I almost imagine between Charmander and Bulbasaur like a devil and an angel on the shoulder, because Bulbasaur is like pessimistic, like, oh, they abandoned us.
Because
like,
that's what happened to Bulbasaur before.
Exactly. And Charmander, like, after being literally saved by these people, is very like, okay, these guys are cool, like, they wouldn't do that. And then Squirtle's here just being a goofball.
Squirtle is here, man!
He's chaos. I love this man. Or this Pokemon. He's not a man. But he's making the weird faces, like, maybe they got eaten, maybe they got killed. Like, it's great. He's crazy.
So Pikachu and the protagonist Pokemon, they see that Slowpoke that we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
And Slowpoke is not help at all. He's just kind of there, and then he puts his tail in the water.
Yep. He doesn't say anything. They're all running up to him like, hey, what's going on? Like, who are you? And he just, that's it.
Look at him up there. Yeah. Look at this idiot.
He's just chilling. And that's all he does. He just looks up, and he sticks his tail in the water, and then everybody walks away, and that's it. And he just stays on the rock.
So Meowth and the Rocket Pokemon show up to attack, and Meowth does the jingle by himself, and Ekans and Coughing refuse to help Meowth attack the others because he's not in charge.
Yeah, he's not
of them specifically.
True. They're masters. And Ekans brings up this whole moral debate of there are no bad Pokemon, there are only bad trainers.
And that's like a thing in Pokemon.
Yeah.
This is like the first time we see that.
Right. It is really cool, though, to get more characterization for these, like, you know,
the evil team.
Yeah.
Like Jesse and James have their morality, and then they have Coughing and Ekans who just follow what they say.
Right.
And it also brings up something interesting about Meowth.
Yeah.
Because Meowth can talk and has a personality. And so it almost brings into like, I was thinking about like Mewtwo way later in the movie.
Okay.
Mewtwo has like a morality.
Yeah.
And he doesn't listen to what people tell him.
Correct.
Because he has more sentience. It's because he has like more sentience. And he can like talk.
That's fair.
And later we see like the Ghastly in a couple episodes. Mm-hmm. He also has like a morality and he has like a personality. He can also like communicate.
Yeah.
So it's almost like Pokemon, when they can't talk, don't have like a...
Even in the... Sorry, I cut you off a little bit. But even in the other episode that we watched today, the Tentacruel and the Tentacool, when they have that ability to communicate, it's the same way. They have their own beliefs, their own morality there.
So if Pokemon can talk, they have like their own like free will.
Yeah.
More or less. Because like, even like, because like Charizard later, like he won't listen to Ash and he'll like revolt sometimes.
Yeah.
He has a little bit of that free will, but at the end of the day, he'll still do what he needs to.
And I think that's more to tie in game mechanic stuff. I think Charizard's too high level. It won't listen to this trainer. It's not like that's his personality. I think it's just, he doesn't respect Ash as much.
True.
At least in my mind, that's how I saw it. But it's I do see where you're going with
there's
it.
like level of sentience that Pokemon can have.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really cool to kind of explore that in this episode a little
It's
more.
funny that like Meowth is one of the like very hyper intelligent Pokemon. It's like Mewtwo, that Ghastly, Meowth.
Yep.
But he is like a main character, so it's like,
He is a main,
It's more weird for it to be like that Ghastly.
That threw me off.
Ghastly.
That threw me off when he started talking. I'm like, all right, so they can just
that Ghastly.
Yeah, that was interesting. We'll get to all that later.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of like foreshadowing.
Yeah,
we're doing an awful job of burying the lead.
Yeah. Just to kind of circle back a little bit real quick, you mentioned square that circle. Meowth, you mentioned him doing the rocket motto on his own. The line he says immediately after that is, "It's starting to lose its impact," and we've been making jokes about that the whole time. I just thought it was very funny that it came from Meowth in the show. Like, at least they acknowledged. That,
Team Rocket's starting to like regrow on me. I haven't been finding them as annoying, but I think it's because they're more integrated now.
Utilized better. As a writing purpose, they're being utilized better. They're more integrated into the story. They're more self-aware. Like, it's not just, all right, we're going to dig this in as hard as we can and just,
It's like now as we see it, they're just kind of trailing behind Ash and the gang, and they're just kind of always there, as we will see in the next couple episodes.
Right. And I still want to bring this up because it was one of my favorite parts of that episode, but like in the Lieutenant Surge episode where they're like cheering for Ash. It's a cool way to like tie them in without just being the same thing over and over again.
And that was like one of the first times where we were like, okay, Team Rocket, they get it now.
Exactly.
They got it. So all the Pokemon are camping out, but they don't want Meowth to eat because he's being a jerk. But Ekans and Coughing, they're cool.
Yeah, Ekans and Coughing are cool, but they tied me out though because like, he's being a jerk.
Like, oh, you guys are trying to get back to the humans too? We'll go with you.
Yeah, no, they just want to get back. They want to find their masters again.
And we see Big Rhydon! Big Rhydon!
And I thought it was cool too that it had the red eyes. I wonder if that was part of the inspiration for in the Legends games when the alpha Pokemon have like their red eyes because they're more aggressive, they're bigger, they're more in your face kind of. I just thought it was a neat little
also
thing.
Red Eyes is evil.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then Ash and the gang are also running from a big Pokemon, and it's a Zapdos?
Zapdos? What's a Zapdos?
And Team Rocket is running from Moltres.
Yeah, what are those? I've never
Three of the legendary birds two of the three legendary birds are just here.
Yep, and again, it makes sense later, but as we were watching this in the show, I had never seen this episode before.
And I had also like forgot what the gimmick was here.
So I was very confused. I'm like, all right, they're just doing that now. They're just here.
Like I looked over at you, I was like, huh?
Yeah. It is like interesting to note though, this is about the time you don't get direct access to it, but this is about where the power plant is.
Yeah.
It's right after,
Yeah. Which is where you get Zapdos and Red and Green.
Which is where you get Zapdos and
Blue.
Fire Red and Leaf Green.
All the colors.
Yeah.
So to close out that day, the Pokemon are all eating at a yatai, which is that food stall that you were talking about.
Okay. Yes.
And they are eating what looks to be oden, which is a Japanese one-pot dish featuring a lot of different ingredients.
Okay. Interesting.
And this also reminded me of Digimon, because there's a part where like...
Of course it did.
It's a part where like Vegemon owns like a restaurant, and then Joe and Matt, or Joichiro and Yamato in the Japanese version, are like helping him like cook. I think they like broke something, and Vegemon was like, "You gotta work for me to pay all that off." And so they're just doing dishes in the back.
That's fair. That's cool though. I mean, it's cool that just seeing that like remind you of something else that...
Yeah, the Digimon are way more humanized and like personified in Digimon because they can all talk.
Right.
I guess like I'm really reminded of Digimon in this episode because we're getting a lot of humanization of the Pokemon and they're talking.
Makes sense. I can definitely see why. I think we kind of glossed over it, but I do think it's a really good idea to have them interact more in this way. Like it's unique because I mean, you're not seeing that interaction with each other. If you do later on, it's usually like one of Misty's Pokemon and one of Ash's Pokemon like interacting while they're out.
Or Pikachu will talk with the Pokemon of the episode, like with the Clefairy that one time, the Caterpie when Ash caught him.
Yeah, exactly. And it's cool to have Ash's team kind of all collaborating and working on something together, even if it is just getting back to Ash.
Yeah. So Ash and the gang get up to search for their Pokemon, and we really just hand wave what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, we're following the Pokemon pretty much for, like, this whole episode, but we're about to shift over our focus to Team Rocket, because that phone booth from earlier, it works.
It does work.
And Team Rocket calls the boss, and they do the motto to Giovanni.
And it pisses him off so much, he just hangs up.
Yeah, and, like, they use the phone cord to make the R, like, in the phone booth.
It was really
cool. Really funny.
That was funny.
Oh, that's good.
That was funny.
And then the boss just doesn't help them. And then Rocket just follows the phone cord because they're like, oh, obviously this is connected to something. We'll
Not only follows the phone cord, drags the entire booth with the phone cord that somehow that works and doesn't break the cord or unplug it or anything like that. But they drag the entire booth because they're like, well, we'll be safe in here from that Moltres that was chasing us.
Yeah.
It just looks so stupid. But it got me. It was kind of funny.
So a lot happens here, and I'm just gonna kind of like yada yada through it. If you really want to talk about something, just like interrupt me. I'm just gonna like blah blah blah. This episode's cute, but I really don't care that much about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to give this thing more than I need to.
Yeah.
So everyone is looking for each other, and Rocket runs into Pikachu, which is a big Pikachu. And then the gang is attacked by Big Charizard from the intro. Like, you've seen it with the big like sound effect. And then all the Pokemon run into a big Blastoise and a big Venusaur.
And I can't remember which one.
It starts with the big Blastoise.
It starts with Big Blastoise. Big Man Blastoise.
Starts with Big Man Blastoise.
I can't remember if it's Bulbasaur or Charmander or who that says to Squirtle, like, oh, that's a relative of yours. Like, go.
And then Squirtle walks up and goes, yo, brother! Yo, brother!
So stupid. It's funny.
So the Pokemon all run away, and then they see Big Venusaur, and they're like, hey, Bulbasaur, talk to him. And Bulbasaur's like, no.
He is the edgelord. His line is, just call me an orphan. I have no family.
Yeah.
What is that?
Bulbasaur is the pessimist. Charmander is the optimist. Pikachu is the fearless leader who holds them all together. And Squirtle's like the guy who's just kind of there.
Just here. Yo, brother.
Every friend group has one of those.
Yeah.
Like, every friend group has those four options.
Yes.
It's the leader, the optimist, the pessimist, and the guy.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just the guy, and I'm okay with that. I did go as the dude.
Yes, you were the dude at Animate from The Big Lebowski.
Hey.
So the Pokemon all run away. Rocket gets in a cable car, and then they try to get away from a big Kabutops.
Yeah.
And then they end up breaking the thing. They go the opposite direction. And then with the cable, they AT-AT the Kabutops and just drag it along. And then eventually the gang also ends up with the cart with Rocket, and then they do the loop-de-loop.
And then Pikachu is like also with the Kabutops in the background, and his face is just there in the back of the screen. Like, it looks so stupid, but it was so funny. And
then the Pokemon end up running into everybody. They all jump in. And then Ash and Pikachu have like a really cute reunion.
Yeah, they do. It was very sweet. Very sweet.
So the cable snaps, and then they all go to the air, and they crash into a Zapdos. And there's a fun part where like Jesse and James and Meowth are like, oh, we know how this is gonna go. Cable's gonna snap. It snaps. We're gonna go up in the air. Woo! And then we're gonna blast off again, and then into the Zapdos. And this is when we find out it's mechanical, and this is all an amusement park.
This is Disneyland, but Pokemon. This is Pokemon Land. Yeah.
No, that's at Universal.
Oh, that's right.
I don't think it is yet, though.
It's not yet.
Maybe eventually.
Yeah. They're doing a Japanese park that's just going to be like Kanto Park.
Yes, yes, there is. And it's like not connected to anything. It's somewhere.
No, but it's cool. It'll be neat. The boat here, the reason we find out it's Pokemon Land is there's a boat full of tourists that's passing by, and the boat is playing the surfing theme from the first games, which is really...
I did not catch that at all.
I caught that. That was really neat. That was a cool reference.
It's sick that you can recognize that off rip.
Oh, just wait till we get to the Tentacool episode, because there were like 4 in there that were all like...
Okay, cool.
It's also mentioned here that Giovanni is the one that paid for Pokemon Land?
Yeah.
With some kind of like sinister
He like
tone.
gets a call and he's like, Pokemon Land has been destroyed.
Which I love that there's no reference to Jesse and James being the ones that like helped destroy it either. It's
Yeah.
just okay. This
Well, they
happened.
probably don't like know. It's probably they like wash their hands clean.
Yeah,
Because like
they're
no
just
one
done.
saw them. The Zapdos just crashed. Like you
Yeah.
could very well call like, oh, this was an accident.
This just happens. Yeah, but it was definitely a weird episode. It felt so different from any of the ones before. Again, it's filler. Like it didn't make sense why there were big Pokemon and Kabutops is supposed to be extinct, so why is it here? And these legendaries are here, and then it all makes sense in the end. Okay, this is at a theme park. This is not real.
And then we have a couple of things that happen at the very end of the episode. The gang ends up in Porta Vista, which is of course a made-up town for the anime. And then we see that Slowpoke from earlier evolve into the Slowbro from the Who's That Pokemon segment.
Yup.
What I think the bit is with the Who's That Pokemon is that they're slow rolling it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's Slowbro, but you don't see him yet, and it's like, it's Slowbro. Well, wait, it's a Slowbro? Slowbro, here he is.
Hey.
And that's like the full bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the Pokemon are different in between like the English version and the Japanese version.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, because like that like graphic, completely original. It's a different graphic for like the Japanese version.
It's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I assumed it's all in English. It's, but I guess that makes sense.
And it's not even also called Who's That Pokemon in Japanese. I forget what the name is, but...
Yeah. It's fair. I was going to ask what it's called, but we don't know. We'll never know.
I read it at one point, and I just did not retain that information.
We'll never know.
But yeah, that episode was cute.
It was cute. It's just... I feel like it's so far separated from anything else. It kind of gave me whiplash going back into like a somewhat more related episode in the next one.
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
Somewhat is doing a lot of work in that sentence, man.
Yes, it is. Oh, dear God.
But yeah, like that episode, it is one of the Pokemon episodes that I watched.
Yes.
We'll say that.
It is one of the Pokemon episodes of all time.
It's probably like the second time I've actually watched that episode, but I don't remember watching it once.
Yeah,
I'll probably forget it again.
Yeah. Until you said that Charizard graphic was from this episode, I didn't catch that, and that's the only reason that scene looked familiar.
Oh.
I was thinking like, oh, maybe I've seen this before. And
no, we're hitting like the use animation because like we're gonna go on a run here where it's like, recognize that.
And the next episode had a couple big moments that were in there.
We'll talk about one of them.
We'll talk about one of them.
So we're gonna move on to episode 18, but we have to ask, which episode 18?
Yep.
Because this is our first instance of a banned episode.
Correct. Beauty and the Beach was initially right here.
The original episode 18 is Beauty and the Beach, which is a banned episode for boob reasons.
Yeah.
James had an inflatable chest, and that was deemed inappropriate for children.
So they took that out.
But it did air in English, censored in June 24th of 2000. So if you're looking at like a list of the episodes like I do when I do research, it's going to be listed as episode 18. But us watching it on YouTube, episode 18 is Tentacool and Tentacruel, which we're about to talk about in a little bit. Right. And if you're wondering what we're going to do about banned episodes, we have a plan for them. Later down the line, the other two banned episodes, Electric Soldier Porygon and the Safari Zone episode, they happen like essentially back to back. It's like one of the episodes, a random episode, and then the other banned episode. So when we get there, we're going to talk about all of them in a nice little special episode, and then we'll include Beauty and the Beach in that one. So cool. We're going to like backtrack a little bit when we get there. It might be slightly confusing, but we'll catch everyone up and it'll be really fun.
It might be slightly confusing, but we were also confused when we were watching this episode. So it's okay. You can come along with us. Yeah,
like, because they did their best to, like, take it out and, like, make sure that they're not referencing things that didn't happen. But they were kind of forced to include some stuff in the end.
There were a few that, there's no way for them to take it out. So, like, all right, we'll, like, kind of hyper-explain this here. And, yeah.
So we're going to go in with this as episode 18, and the one we're talking about is Tentacool and Tentacruel. It aired August 5th, 1997 in Japanese, and October 1st, 1998 in English.
Yes.
So, Ben, who was that Pokemon?
See, this is hard. There are two that the episode is named after, and there's another one that I kind of want to say it was. I kind of want to say it was Horsey.
It is Horsey. Hey, you got it, man.
There we go. It makes sense. I feel like they won't. I feel like a lot of these they wouldn't do like the Pokemon that is the theme of the episode. But
they don't want to make it too hard.
Yeah.
Because like in the second episode, do you remember what the second episode was? Just like off rip.
No.
It was in the Pokemon Center when we meet Team Rocket for the first time.
Okay. Yep,
who's that Pokemon was coughing.
Okay. If they can't reuse Pokemon, that makes
sense. It was like Pikachu coughing and then like Caterpie.
Yeah.
We didn't do this game for like the first couple episodes. You know that. You watched all of them.
You watched all of them, for sure. Definitely. But if you haven't, you should.
Like Stan Lee said, every comic is somebody's first comic. So every Unknown Origins episode is someone's first. So we started doing this game like 2 or 3 episodes ago. And so we haven't done every Who's That Pokemon. But we'll keep doing them as they go on.
We will. And eventually we'll have all 1,025.
Maybe
possibly. Probably not.
I don't know. There's enough episodes.
There are a lot. Yeah.
So Porta Vista is an island, and the gang is stuck here until the next boat shows up. And it doesn't feel like we're missing information here because the first episode where they get to Porta Vista, other than when we see them a little bit in the last episode, is Beauty and the Beach.
Right.
Beauty and the Beast is like establishing Porta Vista.
Right.
And so when this starts, Ash is kind of like, oh man, we missed the boat. And it's like...
Okay, they could have like, just gotten
they show
there,
up and they're like, we have to get back on track immediately. But it didn't feel weird.
No.
But knowing that there's information that's missing, I'm like, yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. Yeah, if you didn't know it was there, if we hadn't just told you, you wouldn't have known it was there at this point. There is some stuff later on that like, man, did I miss an episode? Like, yeah.
It's how I felt watching like the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where Yami's just like, Yugi just turns into Yami. He's like, I'm here, I am fighting Kaiba. And it's like, Mind Crush! And it's like,
what is going on?
Did I miss something? And it's like an entire like 30 chapters of the manga that they're just like, that doesn't matter.
Fine.
It wasn't about the card game, so who cares?
Yeah.
So the gang see a poor horsey with a black eye. And the horsey draws a Tentacruel and a Tentacool with ink in the water. Didn't know horsey could spray ink.
I mean, he uses smoke screen a lot in the end. I feel like it's a similar, if not the same. True. So he can spray ink, I guess. Why not? Same reason Birdo can shoot eggs out of her nose. I feel like it's just there.
I think that's slightly different. Birdo is a magical dinosaur from Super Mario Bros. 2.
Yeah, and this is a magical
which is originally called Doki Doki Panic in Japanese, if you didn't know.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. I definitely knew that for sure. This is also a little magical made-up seahorse for a Japanese cartoon.
Pokemon aren't real.
No, they're not. Unfortunately.
I can't do a straight face out of that.
Uh-huh.
All right, so there is yet another boat crash.
Woo!
And the gang saves everyone on the boat crash. And the boat is owned by Nastina, who is building a resort in a coral reef, and the project is being foiled by Tentacool. And Nastina asks the gang to exterminate all the Tentacool and promises them a lot of money, but Misty is not going for it.
Nah, she's like, hey, I'll give you food, you stay at my hotel, you can have $1 million dollars. Like, all this is great.
Ash is gonna go for it too.
Ash was like fully, Brock too, they were both like fully on board. Misty's like, well, genocide's probably wrong, and they had to agree with her. Like, yeah, you're probably right.
This episode is a very Misty forward episode. This is Misty's best episode.
I think so too.
This episode is also woke.
This episode is very woke.
Woke.
We love the woke.
Yeah, we'll get into like the theming of this one. It's very heavy-handed theming in this one.
Yes.
But we'll get into it as we go on. So the gang all leave Nastina's mansion or whatever, and then we see Pikachu and Horsey just chilling in a kiddie pool.
Yeah.
And Horsey again tries to warn everybody about the Tentacool. But Nastina makes a big call over the PA, and then she puts a hit out on the Tentacool, and Team Ragged show up to accept it.
Yeah. Right before this, too, Ash, like, they animate his face really weird for, like, a couple seconds here.
No,
I don't know if you caught that or not. It was very, like, if you think of, like, the cutaways in other anime that, like, the schoolgirl has where eyes are all big and, like, it almost looked like the art style they use in the Gen 7 anime for a second. And it looked very odd.
Like a slight art style change.
Yeah.
That does happen
like
in anime often.
10, 15 seconds, and then it went back. I just thought that was an odd note, but I just wanted to say something about
that
it.
does happen. Also, it's like a similar vein as like when characters just become chibi for no reason.
Yeah, just for a second, and then it, like, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Missy also says like something like, "What did you think of that lady?" Or "That old lady was gross." And Ash is like, "Well, she's not my type."
He does say that.
Good little like throwaway line.
Ash is like, I'm not gonna like roast this old woman, but like, I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah. It was out of nowhere. It got me off guard.
So Team Rocket tries to kill the Tentacool with a big barrel of like their exterminating sauce. Mm-hmm. That was changed. That's something in the dub. It was probably like poison or like napalm or whatever in the Japanese version. The barrel hits one of the Tentacool and it evolves into Big Tentacruel.
My theory is that barrel had some kind of max mushroom or max honey or something.
Every
and it Dynamaxed
single time
the Tentacruel. Every time. I really like Sword and Shield.
When we get to Galar,
I'm going hard, man.
Like, in 15 years when we get to Galar, man, this guy's going to be in all his glory.
Yeah. Ooh, it's going to be great. I never watched the anime for Galar. Like the journeys and stuff.
I was 20 years old.
Yeah, I didn't.
I was not watching Pokemon.
I liked the games a lot.
I was watching better anime, like Chainsaw Man and Food Wars and Love Live Sunshine.
I was also watching better anime, but mine was like One Punch Man and My Hero and all the basic stuff. So there's that.
Not as funny as a joke as me being like, I was watching Love Live Sunshine.
Yeah, that's fair. I liked your list better, but that's okay.
All right. So all of the Tentacool and Tentacruel start marching on Porta Vista, and Nastina has a tank to try to take them out, but the Tentacool are too strong for her, and the Tentacool are marching in the streets, the city is flooded, and the Tentacruel wrecks the city, and we see that animation in the beginning, which is like,
that's one of my favorite shots. Like I think it's really cool.
And when I like listen to the Pokemon theme, whenever the big isn't there, I always add it in with my mouth.
Yep.
It just sounds weird without that big like.
It does.
Pokemon, gotta catch 'em, it's you and me. I know it's my destiny.
Yeah. Tentacruel also like poison types is one of my favorites. Like Gengar and Toxtricity are like my number 1 and 2. So I did a poison only playthrough. I think the last time I didn't go like all the way through because I never beat Gen 2, but the last time I played Gen 2, I had an all poison team and Tentacruel was my ace on that team.
Sick.
Yeah. So Tentacruel's a cool guy. I like him.
So originally I thought that this was a kaiju movie, but then Tentacruel uses his powers or whatever to talk through Meowth, and it turns into an alien movie really quickly.
There are a lot of references to older
alien movies.
Alien movie. I almost said anime.
I know
movies.
you did.
Yeah. Older alien movies. You mentioned I Am Legend.
No, Independence Day.
Independence Day. Sorry, the other was.
Yeah,
sorry.
Gee, whoa.
Wow.
It's not I Am Legend.
No,
that is a very different movie.
Independence Day, and I believe it's called Attack on Mars is another one that I feel like this very like heavily kind of referenced. Just the shot of the Tentacool, like just going through the city.
Like marching around, like shooting little laser beams, and Tentacruel's like, we will take you out.
It was very reminiscent of like the older alien movies.
From like the 50s and whatnot.
50s, 60s, even like into, like you said, Independence Day is like early 2000s or 90s.
96.
Right. Yeah.
I only know all of this because I was trying to figure out, because like I think I Mandela'd myself to think that Tentacruel knocking that building down was like kind of banned for a second because of like 9/11 things in like 2001.
Was it not?
I couldn't find anything, but I was looking for it, and that's where I saw the Independence Day thing.
I vaguely remember that being a thing.
Because I know like Power Rangers Time Force, the premiere got like delayed because like Power Rangers was a show specifically about big monsters wrecking buildings, and they were like, ooh, no, can't do that.
That's fair. I know Lilo and Stitch, when it first released, they had to change a lot because instead of the big red like fake spaceship, Stitch was originally flying like
a real plane.
And it comes very close to hitting two towers instead of two like rock formations.
This movie came out in like 2002.
Yeah. This happened like while it was in development. They're like, we gotta change this.
Some guys just like watching it, just like, oh no.
Yeah, no.
We gotta fix this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only know that Independence Day fact because I was trying to find other trivia for this episode, and I came across that.
Yeah, Tentacool They do a lot more like alien references, but Tentacool gets put onto Meowth's head like a translator.
Yeah.
Almost. It reminds me of the brain slugs from Futurama, which I know you haven't seen.
Yeah.
But it's just a...
The little bit I have seen of Futurama, I really enjoy. I really need to watch it. We'll get to it one day.
One of my favorite shows. I don't know if y'all can see, I have a Bender tattoo.
Mr. Upside Down Bender over here.
Yeah, it's a Bender on a Bender.
Break your arm so that everyone can see the tattoo.
When I'm walking, when I'm standing up, it's right side up. I just can't show it off right. But, yeah, no,
You
great
look
show.
like a buffoon.
Thank you. That's what I aspire to be.
So, Horsey tries to plead with Tentacruel, and that doesn't work. And then Ash just sends out all the Pokemon in the formation from the intro. How was that Zubat carrying Squirtle?
That is a great
just
question. He's on there, yeah.
Because like Pikachu's riding on Pidgeotto, and Venusaur
Makes
has like his
sense.
vines around Butterfree.
Venusaur. Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur.
Okay.
One of the Soars.
I almost corrected you with Ivysaur. That's also wrong.
One of the Soars.
One of the Soars.
One of the Soars is Vine Whip to Butterfree. And then the Squirtle is just like pasted on the Zubat.
There. He's flying. He's doing his thing. But yeah, that is also a really cool shot. I like that. It's not quite all of Ash's Pokemon because Zubat's there, but yeah. It's just neat.
So Staryu is just, because like Misty sends out Staryu and Starmie, and Staryu's just picking up tentacles and just dropping them into the ocean, just like whip, 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 whip. It's like so efficient, but so funny. He's just like a crane, like the fastest crane game ever. Just like weep, 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 weep. And then Pikachu tries to plead the Tentacruel with no effect. Yeah. And then wish I could understand what Pikachu was saying.
They literally gave him subtitles in the
previous
last episode,
but now he's just Pikachu, Pikachu, Pika, Pika, Pikachu. Tentacruel's just like, I don't
so
know
much
what you're
raw
saying.
Emotion too. He is so into this conversation.
He put his all into that.
And we have no idea what he actually said.
Yeah.
There's no way to know.
That we know, Pikachu was like pleading like, I will sacrifice myself.
Right.
Just don't destroy the city.
The city, yeah. My favorite people are right down there. Like, I don't know. Speculation.
He could have been saying anything.
He could have. This is true.
So Misty then pleads herself and promises that the reefs will no longer be destroyed. Mm-hmm. And we have been kind of like hand waving over a lot of like Misty's stuff, but Misty really is like fighting for the environment. She's fighting for the water types, and she is what's the word I'm looking for? Sympathetic. Misty is sympathetic to the Tentacool and Tentacruel. Right. She doesn't like that Nestina is like wrecking their coral reef and like putting up the amusement park. She understands why the Tentacool are fighting, and that is the reason why they're being eco-terrorists and they're destroying the city. Yeah,
no, it makes total sense. And she sees all the water Pokemon for the beauty that they have.
As cute and as friends.
Exactly. So I think she's already has that connection with them more so than any other character here. So it does make sense that it's her to be the one to reach that olive branch out and be like, hey, don't do this.
Yeah. And so the Tentacruel back off, but Nastina is still here, and she attacks it with a rocket launcher. And then Tentacruel knocks her into Brutella, her cousin, who is rebuilding the restaurant that got destroyed in Beauty and the Beach, which we didn't see.
Which we haven't seen
And
yet.
this was like weird to like us watching, because you're like, who is this person? And like Nastina, I always called Nutella because I was like Brutella and Nastina was combining Nutella. So Nastina is like, whoa, it's my cousin that I rocked into. Wow, rebuilding your restaurant, I see.
Yeah. They throw as much exposition as they can into like this 3 seconds that her mouth is moving.
Like, I'm sure this would have been a funny gag if I knew who Brutella was and that, this is the restaurant that just got destroyed and that she's just trying to rebuild. And now it's gotten destroyed again. Like, that's a very classic bit, but we didn't get it.
Yeah.
We got the punchline, but none of the setup.
Right. It's also interesting that they did throw that reference in there because I feel like a lot of the episodes so far haven't really referenced each other than like, okay, Ash has this Pokemon because he just caught it. There aren't a lot of like throwbacks like that. So the fact that they did one with the only episode that they've banned so far is kind of funny to me.
In a couple episodes, we're going to get like the Sabrina stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's like part 1, part 2, part 3.
Yeah.
They're not like named part 1, part 2, part 3, but like they are very connected. Yeah. So we're starting to see, even more if they are like dragging it out, now we're starting to see like full like stories of like they're in this town and they're gonna like affect the town.
Yeah.
They're not just in Vermilion City to fight Lieutenant Surge.
Yeah.
Now they're in Porta Vista, just kind of like hanging out and having an adventure, even if it did only take one episode in the dub.
Right. No, that it makes sense. I get it. I guess they did also tie the two, like the shipwreck and then the island. That like those were more tied together. It was more of a story. Like, okay, this is why this is happening.
Yeah. So we're starting to see a lot more like two-parters.
Coercion kind of between the episodes.
Yeah, less episodic and more like serial.
Yeah. Which I think is a better way to do it because there's so much going on in this world.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many different references that they can use as well with the manga and the games, and they're throwing as much of it together as they can and just kind of seeing what sticks to the wall and going from there, I feel like is the best way to do something like that.
So Misty officially has a horsey now, and she steals Ash's pose. Yeah. It's really cute. It's like a fun little moment between the two.
Yeah, and then Brock comes in and does it too, and it's just it's a cool moment for the gang.
Yeah, there's a moment like that in Food Wars where Megami does like, "You're welcome," and Soma is like, "Oh, you're stealing my thing," and she's like, "Well, I thought it makes sense."
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I haven't seen Food Wars. I'm sorry.
You gotta get on Food Wars, man.
Do I?
If we weren't watching ReZero, we'd be watching Food Wars all the time.
That's fair. I do like ReZero so far. It's been good.
It's gotten better. The ReZero update,
yes.
I'm less annoyed by it.
Yeah. And after this, I think you said we're watching JoJo, which will be fun too.
But we gotta finish ReZero.
We gotta finish ReZero. That'll be a while.
We are in we're watching the director's cut of ReZero, so we're like 2/3 of the way through season 1, and there's like 4 seasons of that thing.
I forgot there were 4 seasons.
There's so much ReZero. We've been watching it so slowly.
Oh God.
But we will watch JoJo's after that.
Okay.
I'm like however long it takes.
Yeah. Probably about the same time this podcast.
So, moving on to episode 19, The Ghost of Maiden's Peak. It was released August 12th, 1997 in Japan, and October 2nd, 1998 in English. So, Ben, who was that Pokemon?
I feel like there's only one choice for this one, and it's really obvious, but I think I gotta go with it. It's probably Ghastly.
It is exactly Ghastly.
There we go.
So I remember, I remember watching this episode at my grandparents'.
Never seen this before we watched it.
When I was a kid, I would always spend the weekends at my grandparents' house from like Friday night to like Sunday morning. And so on Friday nights on Boomerang, they would always have like, I think Pokemon was at like 6:30, or I think Ben 10 was at like 6:30, and then Pokemon was on like 7. It was like something like that, but like Pokemon and Ben 10 were always the shows I would like watch. I would always try to like get to my grandparents and watch Boomerang, turn that on, and watch all those shows. And then at like 8 o'clock, Cartoon Network would start running like Batman, The Brave and the Bold, The Clone Wars, Generator Rex, the newer Ben 10 episodes, like Ultimate Alien, Alien Force, depending on the year.
Yeah. No, Ben 10 was one I got really big into. I watched some of the Clone Wars, some of the Batman. Generator Rex I never got into.
I watched like all of those except for like Generator Rex. I actually probably watched a lot of Generator Rex. I just like don't remember a lot of it.
I remember watching a few after they did a crossover with Ben 10.
Yes.
For a minute.
Like right after Ultimate Alien.
Yeah.
I remember the Generator Rex like premiere.
Do you?
Yes, I was at my other grandparents' place in the basement, just like watching it. I was like sitting there watching it like I was like critiquing it, like, I see.
I remember the Ben 10 premiere, like the original Ben 10 premiere.
Old.
I know I'm
old.
I'm not that old. I'm 25.
Old.
But, no, I love that show.
I remember 10-10-10.
10-10-10.
Remember 10-10-10
was a good one. I remember that.
It was like the premiere of Ultimate Alien, I believe.
Ultimate Alien.
Or the Alien Force finale, I think it was.
Yeah, it was kind of, I think they did both there, because it was like the end of that one, and then they started the new series the same day, I believe.
Something like that.
But yeah, it was just cool.
I kind of remember 10-10-10.
Fair.
Okay, so this is a very distinct episode. This episode of Pokemon.
Yes.
So Ash and...
No, go for it. Go for it.
Ash and the gang sail away from Porta Vista to a place called Maiden's Peak. And Team Rocket are in a barrel being pulled by the boat. They're just here now.
They're just chilling. Yeah. Literally trailing right behind Ash and the gang in every episode. Always.
So it is the end of summer festival, and there's just a festival. And Brock sees this beautiful woman at the end of a pier, and Pikachu notices the girl turn into a Ghastly. And James also sees this girl.
Yep. And nobody else sees any of that.
Yeah.
Just the three of them.
Yeah. So this episode feels like ghost stories. Finally, we get to talk about ghost stories.
Yeah.
We've been circling the drain like you wouldn't believe on ghost stories.
Oh my gosh.
We finally get to like talk about it because it's relevant.
It is relevant.
So Ghost Stories was a show created in like I think it came out in Japan in like 2002 or like 2001, something like that.
But the Japanese release isn't what we're concerned about.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about. But Ghost Stories was kind of like Scooby-Doo. It was just kids going through like traditional Japanese ghost stories and like having their cat that can talk and just having fun. But in the dub, the reason why Ben is laughing and the reason why you might know Ghost Stories.
Yeah. The show didn't do great in Japan. So the English team is like, hey, we got to do whatever we can to make this popular. And you know what was
Actually,
popular?
it was the
at
other way
time?
around. The Japanese team, they had 3 rules for
Okay,
them.
that's
the
right,
first
that's right.
rule was don't change any character names. Second rule, don't change the way the ghosts die. Third rule, just do whatever you can to make it popular. So they had free reign.
Okay, so the Japanese team made those rules, and the English team was like, all right, we got this. What else is popular right now? I know, South Park.
South Park.
So they made this entire show. The English dub is just South Park. It's raunchy jokes. It's stupid. It's wonderful.
Now, that's not why this episode feels like South Park. Ash wasn't like saying slurs.
No.
It's
not
more
at all.
like a tonal thing.
It is.
Because in the Ghost Stories dub, they're cracking jokes, they're making bits, they're saying slurs left, right, and center, they're being racist.
And it's all references to like actual Japanese like myths and legends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a minute out of each episode, there's just like this creepy kind of like atmosphere. Because like there's like the episode that we last watched, because it was relevant to Don Da Don.
Great show.
The piano ghost, where I believe the main girl's name is Satsuki, if she hears Fleur de Lis like 4 times, she'll die.
Mm-hmm.
And like the whole time they're just making jokes and cracking bits.
Right.
But then there's a part where she's being like chased down the street by like a piano, just following her. And it's like some like creepy imagery, and like in the rabbit episode that's like iconic that everyone talks about that we love.
It's not because
You're a rabbit, Juniper.
It's because you're black.
She's down there just sucking her water. And so even in that episode, there's like that like comment and like jump. I said jump, and like all that bit. But there's just a rabbit going around eating people.
Yep.
There's
in
like
the background. It's
creepy
crazy.
moments. And like that's what this episode is like. It's Pokemon, but then randomly there's just like a ghost.
Yeah.
Just like hanging out, like
Haunting people,
being
trying
kind
to
of
do its
creepy.
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's like some creepy-ish imagery, and like the tone is like a little spookier than what we're used to in Pokemon. But for 90% of the episode, it's Pokemon.
It's Pokemon. They're still cracking jokes. They're trying to make it entertaining. It's for kids trying to do their best to bring this and do the yeah.
So there's just like weird tonal shifts.
Yeah.
Which is very Ghost Stories.
Very.
Also, it's very mentioned that when I was bringing this up, he was like, oh yeah, it's like Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, it's not Ghost
He
Adventures.
meant Ghost Stories.
Very different thing. This isn't a live cam that I'm following you around a haunted house. Yeah.
Zach Baggins and his BS.
Yeah. Very different.
So there's an old lady, and she tells Brock to beware of a beautiful maiden, and she does the same thing to James, and James and Jesse are like trying to pick up a penny, and that penny is very obviously edited in.
It just like cuts to a clean shot. There's no transition.
It's so that penny looks so different.
It does.
It looks so different than everything else in the show.
It's also weirdly like Officer Jenny is kind of like, hey, you found a penny. That's lost money. You got to report it as you got.
Thank you for picking this up, you nice citizens.
It was just very odd.
Because Team Rocket is broke.
Yeah.
James used all their money on that Magikarp, but
Right.
the bit for the past couple episodes has been that they're broke. And that's why they were helping Nastina with the tentacle.
Right, and that's why in this, they were going to that festival. They're like, oh, maybe we can like scam people out of money. We can, and then there's no money at the festival. They're like,
Other than that, 1 penny.
There's plenty. I kind of think, in my brain at least, that Jenny was almost like, she knew who these people are, and she's like trying to get them to come back to the station to be like, all right, you're Team Rocket, like just get in the cell. Like,
Your wanted posters like right there.
Right, exactly. That's my theory at least, but it's just a funny little bit either way.
Good theory. So we see a painting of this girl, and we hear the legend of the girl from 2,000 years ago. she was waiting for her husband to come back from the war, but he never did. And then it's eerie that Brock and James like saw this woman, but she's from 2,000 years ago.
Right.
And this reminded me of like key visual anime, like a Clannad or a Canon or like Summer Pockets, which I just finished watching today.
Good for you.
Yeah, that show is, those like shows are very like, oh, it's this character from like a long time ago, or like this character you met when you were a kid and she was like 16 now. And then you meet her again and she's 16 still. How is she 16 still? And then it's not the girl, it's like different for some reason.
Oh yeah. No, I get you. That makes sense. I've seen a few shows that have had like similar, I couldn't pick one out right now, but I know what you mean.
But yeah, this is like very intriguing. There's a lot of interesting stuff happening here.
I also like that Meowth is immediately just like 100% like, oh, we don't need to steal Pokemon anymore. We can get that art piece. That's worth a lot of money. Like that's...
So as the night goes on, well, there's a rock that looks like the woman, and then the gang stake it out. And Meowth also has the idea to steal the painting, and then Brock stays at the rock, and then Ash and Misty go to the Pokemon Center. They end up getting stuck in the Pokemon Center because it's curfew, they can't go out.
Ash was about to leave, and Nerd Story starts like momming him, like, no, you need to get your rest. It's bad for your skin to stay up. And it's just a very weird moment.
Yeah, but Brock is sitting at the rock, just staking it out. Meowth and Team Rocket, they're at the shrine, and then they're like hanging like they're caterpillars in sleeping bags from a tree.
Very
and
weird.
Meowth gets up and he's like, oh, we gotta steal the painting. And then the ghost walks out of the shrine, sees Meowth, puts him to sleep, and then James is like lifted, he's floated out of the sleeping bag. I couldn't remember the word for float. He floated out of the sleeping bag, and then the ghost shows up next to Brock at the rock. And then Brock is also like whisked or spirited away.
Yeah, there you go.
It's literally why the term comes from. There's a term that exists, I should be using it. So Brock and James get spirited away, and then it's the next morning, and Brock and James are nowhere to be found. Ash and Misty are looking for Brock. Jesse and Meowth are looking for James. And then they run into each other, and then Jesse is like, oh, I see the protagonist, I have to do the motto. And she starts the motto, and she fits in James's bit by doing like an impression of him.
It was funny. And then eventually James like comes to.
Because James is like in like that shack next to them. I don't think that was the shrine. I don't quite know where they were.
I think it was the shrine.
Okay, it was the shrine. Yeah. So Brock and James are in the shrine, and Jesse's saying it next to it, and James is like, to the send our reach to the stars above.
And like got him out of the trance by saying the motto.
Like this is like a call and response for them. If James is ever like missing, he's just like, prepare for trouble. I don't hear him. It's like Marco Polo.
Yeah, exactly. But no, Brock and James, they fall out of the closet. I mean, the shrine together. Sorry.
No, they're after the woman. They're not after each other.
Right. Okay, but like they slept together. I'm just saying.
Technically, yes.
I don't know. I had to throw that in there. They then talk to the same old lady.
That old woman, she comes back.
Who sells them anti-ghost stickers. So
this is the dub doing things again. These are talismans. They're called Ufuda, and they're used to ward off spirits.
Correct. I love that they called them anti-ghost stickers.
Yeah, they had to come up with something.
These kids aren't going to know what these are, but stickers. They like stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ghost shows back up, and it takes Brock and James away again, and then Jesse shoots the ghost with the bazooka.
Yeah, she pulls out of nowhere. She just has a bazooka, because why not?
Like, there's a lot of guns in this show, for like no reason, because like, we glossed over before, but like, Nastina had like the bazooka. I think she had like Uzis too.
Yep.
She broke them out. Just
she had a couple of those. She just started shooting in the air
Rambo on the
times throughout the episode. She's got the tank that she got out of nowhere as well. Like it just exists, and full like camo outfit. Just she's like a wanted like war criminal or something.
Early Pokemon was so weird, guys. Like we can't stress this enough. Early Pokemon was so weird.
Very.
And so the ghost of the maiden calls a bunch of other ghosts, and then Ash is trying to scan them in the Pokedex, and it's not working. But then Ash points it at the maiden, and is revealed that the maiden is a Ghastly, which we already knew because Pikachu saw the Ghastly earlier.
Yeah.
So the old woman is also Ghastly, and Ghastly can talk.
Ghastly just starts talking.
Might be because of like a hypnosis, like an illusion kind of thing.
Yeah, but usually when that happens, the mouth isn't moving.
True.
Like, and that's what threw me off too. I'm like, okay, if they are doing it like it's in his head, maybe it makes sense, but his mouth is moving the whole time. And it just threw me off a little bit. I'm like,
and then we get the shape-shifting bit.
Yes.
We see a mousetrap, we see a cat toy, we see a real-life mongoose.
Yep. I think it's cool that they reference the snake and the mongoose being enemies way before Seviper and Zangoose existed. I think it's just a neat little...
But yeah, we see a real mongoose, and then we also see the classic Venustoise.
Yes.
The Venusaur and the Blastoise
They do the fusion
together
dance.
to create a Venustoise.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's just...
Again,
It's
early
random.
Pokemon, they were just doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like they almost had, like, no direction. Like, they didn't have, like, an oversight committee over at Game Freak telling them, like, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. They just gave them full reign, and they were like, okay, we'll just draw a Venusaur and a Blastoise. And, like, what's the weakness of snakes? Mongooses.
Of course. What else would it be?
Because, like, that was the point. It was trying to, like, do the weaknesses of the Pokemon and not, like, other Pokemon.
It's weird to think about, like, Game Freak wasn't this giant company when all this was going on.
They were freaks who made games.
Exactly. And they didn't have, like, the same level of, like, okay, everything has to be canon, has to go this way,
Has to be pristine
and these characters
and
can only be
all-
used just like this. And
Like,
it's-
sanitized almost,
Yeah,
but now it's
exactly.
not. It's just
and now
running
it's
wild.
nothing like that. It's interesting. I want to see more, and that's why we're doing this.
Well, you get to see more because Misty uses a cross to beat
Yeah.
Ghastly.
Yeah.
Religion is just here.
Yeah.
Like, and it's been here for a while.
because Brock references Noah a few episodes
Yeah.
ago, and we made a whole thing about this is some kid's first interaction with Christianity.
Yeah.
Is Brock referencing Noah of all things?
And, like, the talismans are also, like, used in, like, Shintoism.
Yeah,
And, like, Buddhism.
yeah.
So there's even, like, other, like, Eastern religions being thrown in here, too.
That's true. That's true. It's so wild to me that there are banned episodes because they have a gun. Like we'll talk about later on with the Savari Zone episode.
Yeah.
But this stuff is like not.
Yeah, like
this is fine.
This is definitely for kids, like, figuring it out. Like, I've talked
Yeah.
about it before with, like, later in, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! It's, like, all the religious stuff, you gotta get rid of that. All the guns, you gotta get rid of that. All the cleavage, you gotta get rid of that.
Yeah.
Like, even with, like, the Pokemon, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. Even Pokemon cards, too. Like, Misty's Tears and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was, like, a wild time for anime in, like, 1998.
Very. It's just unhinged, and I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
So the sun comes up and the Ghastly disappears, and his final words are, "Don't forget the story of the maiden."
Yeah.
Then later we even see the Ghastly talking to the ghost.
Yes. He does get to talk to the ghost, and he talks about how much money he's making from doing this too. From,
Yeah, 'cause he's selling the
talisman.
stickers.
Yeah, it's just wild to me that that's still what he's concerned about, even though he's a Pokemon and he's dead, and he only shows up for like 3 days a year. But he's like, gotta make that bread, man.
Misty is in a kimono now because we're doing true festival stuff, and we're going to talk a lot about, like, the festival here.
Yep.
So Misty asks Ash to dance with her, and so we get more poke shipping. And, like, it's great that for, like, the last 5 minutes of this episode, it just turns into, like, a festival episode that you would see from something like a Blue Box or, like, a different other, like, anime, like a Don Da Don. I don't think we've seen a festival
Not
episode
yet,
of Don Da Don.
but it's
that's
coming.
more a cultural festival. I mean, like, an outside festival, like, we're going to see fireworks or something.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, we haven't seen that yet.
And so this festival, the, like, end of summer festival, it has to be based on Obon, which is a Japanese holiday that actually, as of filming this episode, happened like 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
So Obon marks the end of summer. It lasts 3 days. It features a dance, and then kimonos are practically worn, just like all the things that we saw in this episode. Right. And the point of Obon is to honor and remember ancestors from, like,
Which
past. And we even see, like, at the end, those small lanterns, like, going down the river.
Yeah.
And that's a part of Obon. Because it's kind of like Dia de los Muertos,
Okay.
where it's like we have, like, shrines to, like, bring our friends back.
I do know what that is because I've seen Coco. I
Yeah.
have no idea what the other festival you're referencing is. Yeah.
Obon, the thing we're talking about.
Yeah, correct.
You don't watch as much of the same anime as I do.
I do not at all.
With me, I've seen, like, the fireworks festivals and, like, going out and having fun and talking about Obon, like, 50 times.
Yeah, I'm not a big romance anime
Yeah, I
guy,
watched-
although you have turned me on to a couple that I have liked. So
Yeah, I
far.
watch all the slice of life stuff.
Yeah, I don't. I like action anime.
But yeah, so, like, the boats that we see in the Pokemon episode are to, like, guide spirits, like, back to a crossover or something like that. I did a little bit of research, but I don't know a lot of it. If you are interested in this, do your own research. I encourage that.
Yeah. And then get in the comments.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, tell me how I'm wrong about how Oban is not like that.
I'm always okay with you upshowing him and knowing more than him. I know you know more than me. That's okay. But if you know more than him, that's a win in our book.
Prove everybody that I am just talking out of my butt. Woo! Okay. That was a fun last episode.
It was a fun last episode. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It's weird to me. I don't feel like I can rank these ones as effectively as I can the last ones, just because it's so different from everything
they're
else.
not gonna be the best episodes ever because they like feel like filler, but they're like fine episodes. I think if you were to like tell someone to watch like any of these, or if you were to like turn this one on just to like have fun, I think episode 19, The Ghost of Bane's Peak, would be the one to like do out of these like 3.
Agreed. It's got good. It does shift its theme a lot, so you feel like you're getting more out of it. It's got good little moments like the fusion dance between Blastoise.
Like
and
if
Venusaur.
you want to show someone that scene, you can just go ahead and like, turn on the whole episode, and you won't be like, I gotta get to the full thing. Like go.
We did with Ghost Stories and the Rabbit episode.
We watched the full thing because it's like actually
it's funny.
It's like the whole thing isn't that bad.
No, it's not. And this is a similar vein, and I feel like that's why it reminds us, at least me, so much of Ghost Stories.
Yeah.
It's just, it's good. It's entertaining. And that's what it's meant for. Entertainment.
All right. Is there anything else you got, or is that good?
I think that's it.
All right. So next time, we're going to be talking about episodes 20, 21, and 22. Make sure and go ahead and watch those ones if you want for next week. And we will be back. It'll still be us. And until next time, trainers, gotta watch them all.